all. We're here for Ascension Sunday. We're very pleased and honored to have our guest Shelby to kind of sort through. There's a lot going on in the news. There's a big fight going on on the White House lawn, and it seems to me that even though I know I've been stressing in the last couple of videos that we really have to assert ourselves and leave the matrix and become ourselves, really connect with our pineal glands, our lives. But at the same time, it seems to me that with the Iran war done and everything that's coming into effect, including XRP, I think the crypto, I mean, there's just no way that crypto can't go to the moon. And Trump came out today and he said that we have a 31 extra billion dollars from the tariffs. So I think it's just a matter of time. And before, of course, before the midterm elections, he's going to clobber the deep state. Now, a friend of mine, I said last night, a friend of mine told me, who's a Marine, actually it's a mutual friend of ours, told me that he doesn't think tonight is going to be the EBS or anything like that. And I totally agree. But he does feel that like in 2 years at the Olympics in LA, and that are going to be 2 years from today, that that it could be by then they'll have enough time to arrest enough of these creeps that they could go ahead and have some kind of EBS. One other thing I just want to mention before we get started, and that is that the gematria of 14, in Hebrew, is David, king. So whenever I see the number 14, I think of David Amelech, which means David the king. David was different from his son in that Shlomo, in that David was the man who went out and fought. He was constantly fighting. People were always, he wrote the Psalms about the struggle that he went through as King David. Like everybody was always after him. I don't think he had a moment's peace in his entire life. And this just so reminds me, and it is the 14th of June, and it happens to be President Trump's birthday. So I have to think that there's something of David HaMelech, of this, the King of Kings, this King. I mean, I hesitate to say King Mashiach, but certainly if anyone deserves the name of Mashiach, nobody has done more for humanity than President Trump. So I think all this ties together. There's the information that's pouring out is all good. We're very grateful, by the way, that you would come to our channel versus the sports event. Both Shelby and I are not really sports people, so I don't really know. First of all, I do not get enjoyment from watching two human beings slug it out. I'm the kind of guy that during a lot of movies I go like this, and I ask Daniela, "Can I look now?" I'm very squeamish. Even like if I even see a knife on a movie, just the idea, just I know that means something's coming. I'm just like, I can't deal with this. So with that said, I also really think I want to put this one post before we really start chatting. And also let me open up the chat line. Hey Paul Little, I just want to share this one clip from about time. I think this is a really important thing, and we're talking about Ascension tonight, so this might be a good place to start. But it says, time is the greatest lie ever sold to humanity. Time does not exist. There is only now, the eternal present. Satan trapped us with clocks. schedules, and fake holidays, but I let it go. Now I flow with the energies of the Most High. Everything falls into place. The kingdom is here, always has been. Amen. Jasper Truth. So I thought that was a very interesting post, but I mean, I think that really covers everything that I feel a kind of immediate need to divulge.
Yeah, that's a good one too. A lot of people are missing time, or it's speeding up that we're not even paying attention to time. I mean, and at least in my world, people that I'm connected with, it's like it's just whenever it is. And I think that's been our biggest challenge with trying to stick to timelines with our episodes, for the Ellie Weber show. But Aaron's been doing this to me forever. He's like, I'm not on anybody's time clock, you know. But it's more relevant now, I think. People are seeing it and feeling it for themselves. I think I think, you know, there's so much stuff going on, so many changes happening, and all good. And time, I think, is definitely one of them.
Yeah, the research. I mean, that's kind of what we're facing up here. We have a new guest here, or a new member of our community, James, and James is always saying, "I'm out of the matrix." So
Mhm.
it's time is our own, and especially when we kind of live in two worlds, probably like Aaron. We live in the
Yeah,
world of nature, but we also have Starlink, and we also have our cell phones, and we're
right.
also all investors in XRP and XLM and the ISO 222 coins, and we're also all the thing that really attracted us to each other is this desire to escape the matrix, but also to be aware of the changes that are taking place.
Yeah. I think that's right on because what there is, it is a balance and we're living in between. And, the more you keep moving over to the side that brings you peace and joy, um, the less this really matters, but it's still there because we still have to participate in certain things. So the balance is tough. I just met with one of our ladies. She's a new widow. She's having a tough time. She's awake on a lot of things. She was also an educator that got screwed, and I see her struggling with the balance. She's awake on some things, but not all things, and just that spiritual. This is where the spirituality stuff comes in, because if I told her today, if we don't know who we are, we're going to get whisked away and people are just going to eat us up. We have to stay solid and grounded in your own self. That's all that matters right now is knowing who you are and trusting and believing in yourself. So I think it's tough. It is tough. It's tough for a lot of people, especially the older community, and but she's doing great things in her community. So I said, just work on your community. It doesn't matter. Screw everybody. Whatever they say about you, if somebody's disrespecting you, just walk away. You don't need that. You're too busy for that now. Yeah. But yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, it seems like a new world to me. I know there was a planetary alignment last night, and it just
Mm,
like everything is different today. We have in our community, Daniela is our timekeeper. She tells us when we have to
right.
do something, and she's like she'll chase us outside and say you guys need to be working on the house. She's like, I don't want you living like this forever, and she's but we really we like having that kind of connection to that sort of reality,
Yeah.
that's productive reality. We're
Right.
not doing this for on somebody. We're not punching a clock. We're not showing up at some weird place and doing mindless stupid things.
Hmm.
I just saw a report that said that in 1955 the Rockefeller creepazoid parasites hired the CIA, or there was a global movement to calcify the pineal gland because they knew they wouldn't be able to control people who had superpowers, really.
Wow. That's pretty amazing. But yeah, I believe that. I think that we've all been dummied down, and we've just been poisoned, and people are starting to wake up, and I think it's great. I think it's something that they have feared this entire journey, and it's coming to a head now, which is great. I love it.
Yeah, I think the frequency is changing, and they can't really hide out anymore. It's
No.
not the energy is not good for that.
Right, right. I see that even in, my own relationships. People that are low density, very matrix, very I have to watch the news at 4, 5, and 6, and then lo and behold, they're like, "Oh, I don't I like, you want to watch the news?" This is my mom talking about my mom. No, I don't even care. I'm like, "What? Let me write that down. Let me timestamp that." But yeah, it's pretty amazing. I mean, I realize that not everybody's going to be flowing in this frequency, and to get into this frequency is not easy. But once you're there and you can't go back, you have to keep going. You have to keep going. You have no choice. You can't stand still. No more.
Yeah, that's true. Unfortunately, well, unfortunately, I guess we can't go back. It's just
No.
it's not an option. You can't unlearn. You can't unsee what you've already seen.
Right, right, right. And you just, you have to use your own judgment, I think. You take it as it comes. Like, you have to participate in this still because you have kids, you have grandchildren that are still there. And, you just kind of take it as it comes. That's what I say. We don't have to know everything, and we don't have to pound it into people because, that's not going to work either. So just enjoy your own time that you have.
Yeah, I really think that's the key to, in a sense, to living in a more enlightened life, is being comfortable with not knowing, and just
Yeah.
being able to just go with it. And like today, we went down to we have our own well, but we don't like to use it. We don't like to use the pump too much because we have had problems, whatever. But we needed to get more extra water to water some trees down in a different part of the property,
Mm.
so we went up to fetch some water for our trees, and I turned to Daniela and James, and I said, "Do you mind if I drive up that road? I've always wanted to know what's up there. I mean, we've been
Right.
here for years, but we never really think of exploring." And
Yeah.
we drove back there, and it was just so beautiful. There's all this
Oh,
property for sale. It's a little higher elevation, so they have more trees up there. But it was just, the world is not a done deal. That's one of
right.
the, I think, one of the big lies that the creepazoid parasites wanted us to think. It's like, well, the world is known. We've discovered everything, and it's
Yeah.
not. It's complete. And the other aspect is, as we were driving up into these mountains that I've never seen before, with hardly, there's houses here and there, the little shacks here and there, but um, I was saying to James, after the depopulation event, there's no one up here.
Right.
So much of the world is unexplored, and they tried to make it seem like they knew everything, and everything is, but really there's so much land, so much. I'll
There
bet
is.
most of the land out here, I'll bet no one's ever stepped on. I mean, it's so remote. It's
I
incredible.
bet. There is lots of land, and they keep building on these, in these areas, and that's exactly what my lady friend that I went and visited today is fighting in her community. They want to put more hospitals right in her backyard. They're doing it to my niece that lives up by a casino, and they're building these huge 4-story structures right on her fence line. And I mean, and they just have to eat it. They don't need all that. I'm like, who's moving here? I mean, we have so many new communities in this county. It's disgusting. And I don't know, they're not locals buying these properties because nobody can afford them. The local community can't afford those prices. So it is it is unfortunate, but yeah, land preservation I think is so important. Those big lots, those all that acreage you have out there. I told my niece, I said, if you guys do end up buying something else, you got to buy something where nobody around you is going to take over. I know that's hard to think in advance, but she never thought it would happen there. I mean, they live in the country and they're building the administrative offices for the casino.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
Right.
it's
Like
horrendous.
daycares and a medical center. And it's like,
Right.
what? Ugh.
When you say nobody can afford it, who is moving there?
These are people coming from outside, not within, because Fresno County, I mean, the homes, the average home right now, I think, is about 350,000 for, this. And it never used to be that way. I mean, I moved out here in 2002, and the same house that they're selling for that, you could have gotten under 100. So the people that live here don't make that kind of money. So they're coming in from the Bay Area, they're coming in from LA, they're coming in from everywhere. And I've noticed in the mountains where I'm at in Squaw Valley, there is a lot of foreigners moving up there and building out communities. I took a drive towards a church, that is up there. It's been up there, and it's like a whole gated community now, and they're all vacant. So that makes me wonder, like these are beautiful custom built homes on acreage in a gated community that are vacant. What does that mean? You know? So there's still a lot of crap, but I think once the good people get their humanitarian projects in order, part of my goal is to preserve land, especially what's happening with our farmers and how they're taking over the whole agriculture world, and we need to preserve that land. Even the people that are currently owning it, they're going to have to fight to keep it, I think.
Right. I know they tried to steal my property. Uh, I don't know if that's something I'm going to have to deal with in the future. I hope not.
I
But
hope not.
the interesting thing with us is that, going back to this idea of not knowing, that I only think about the next step. That's just
Mhm.
the way I do things. So like right now I'm thinking about finishing the second floor, putting a roof up on the second floor. That's my next step. I was
Yeah.
talking James, now having another person up here to help me build, we're talking about animals and all this other stuff. But
Mm.
it seems to me that we came here with no expectations. We just wanted to have a place to live where Daniela could deal with her eczema because it's drier here. However, it seems to me that we are developing what's going to be a very successful farm ranch kind of project. Having James here, we're growing all kinds of vegetables and trees and planning for the future and planning really cool things to grow, and we're getting we're on the cusp of getting some. We're going to finally get our chicken and goats and this kind of thing. But
That's awesome.
there is a tremendous need, at least in this area, and I'm sure everywhere, for organic
Yeah,
materials,
like
organic food.
real organic, not just a label.
Right. Not
You
just the
know,
label.
that's right. No, I think what you're doing out there is exactly what we're going to be, needing in every community, as far as we can see. Um, just bringing it back to the local level, grassroots all the way. I'm all about grassroots, and we have, people like you that are actually participating in something like that. So I think, Yeah, I think it's a great thing, Ellie. You're doing such an
And
amazing job.
the thing is that there are not that many people like myself there are not that many people doing it, and as a consequence, it's like once you get past a certain survival threshold, which is
Hmm.
taking us time. Now um we don't have to put water into the RV to take a shower. We have a continuous flow from our water reservoir, from our tank. We built up our little bit of infrastructure, but we have the only other person that I knew up here that was like us was called Acadia Farms, and that's
Mm.
it's more of a Christian community, and it's a wonderful community. They're dear friends of ours.
Yeah.
Recently, established this farming, like educational farming community. The county went after them because they have a uh, bread and breakfast. What is it
A
called?
bed and breakfast.
Bed and
Bed and
breakfast. So
breakfast.
the county started suing them, and they went to court, and they had to really prove themselves. But now that they're established, there was a gentleman who had a very big egg farm, a
Mm.
very he had something like, I don't know. I think that the number I remember was something like 50,000 chickens or 5,000. A lot of
Yeah.
chickens.
Big operation. Yeah.
Right. And it was organic. I mean, but this man begged my friends to take over his business. He was old, and he
Mm.
didn't know what to do with the business, and he begged them, please take my business. So we went into town recently there's only one farm store, or store dedicated to that.
Yeah.
The owner has a farm herself, so it's a place. But we noticed that the eggs now come from our friends. So it's
Oh.
it's it's just it's an accident waiting to happen. There's
Yeah.
there's going to be so much opportunity, and now we're reaching out to local ranchers. We've been buying our meat from a certain place in town, which is, we're finding out some things that are not so good, but some things that are really good. But
Yeah.
the idea of us interacting with each other, of buying from the local ranch, in New York City, I didn't have that, but we had the Amish community, so we could order things, but it costs so much money to ship it. But out here, that
Yeah.
we're about to start an association with the local rancher, and they're saying, well, we go to town every week, so we'll drop it, whatever your exit is,
Ah, right on.
we'll drop it off. And it's just like these
That's
kind of
awesome.
connections, man. And then we're up here, and then we had this woman, who originally wanted to come up here, but she wanted to try cannabis, or she has a big thing about cannabis. So I told James, I said, well, we need to grow a few plants, so that if a person comes here and wants to have that
Hmm.
experience, they could.
Yeah.
I mean, I personally, I've done that. I've been there, done that. I got the T-shirt. I'm not really that interested, but I do
Yeah.
like to grow the plant. It's a beautiful
Right.
plant.
It
I find
is.
them very telepathic. They really speak to you.
Mm.
So
Wow.
whatever, but you know,
Yeah.
this kind of opening, these kind of opportunities where you can get a little bit off grid, so you don't have the county breathing down your
Yeah.
neck, is
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, I have an egg lady. We have egg ladies up there in Squaw where I live, and even at the local, the little trading post we call it. Um, they have them on the counter, but you have to pay cash because we can't in California. You can't be doing stuff like that. But there's a produce guy that comes like every Thursday that people go, and he brings all the produce. I mean, there's a need for this, and this is what a lot of people I think are going to be moving towards, because they're seeing how dirty the food is, they're seeing how rotten everything is. They want clean stuff. Well, who's going to be providing that? It's going to be
Yeah.
good people like us.
we're we're,
So,
we're investigating now. We're looking at goats. We're going to be buying chickens this week. We found a breed.
oh, nice.
James knows a breed called I am Samani, I think they're called, but apparently they're very the eggs are very sought after. So we found, and I said to James, I said, well, how do we get? He said, well, we could go on it's not YouTube, but uh, we could go online and find it. But he said he got an inspiration, and he looked on
Mm,
the local things, and he found
yeah.
a course right in Kingman. So we're going to pick
Nice.
up some babies next week, and
Oh,
it's
that's awesome.
and the idea we're working with a local tree person, and we're going to be buying some nut trees. We'll be growing our own walnuts and pecans and pistachios, and I'm seeing the future. But this
Right.
this was not something that I set out to do.
Right.
This just is evolving, and that's why people need to be, like you say, focused on their higher self. And that if you're focused on your higher self, you will, in my opinion, what happened to me is you will be led. You will
Yeah.
be taken by the hand.
I
The
believe that.
divine forces will take you by the hand. I mean, I was trying to find a house in Arizona, and it's like $300,000, $400,000 or
Right.
$200,000, and in town. I was like, I don't want that. And then I saw
Right.
this place for 170 acres for like a little over $100,000, and I was like, I don't know what's involved, but I'm gonna go. And we survived, man. And
Right.
now, as a result of surviving, I think it's going to really turn around. But that's the thing, that people need to be open to this new, to new being new people, and
Yeah.
having new experiences. But they're really not new. They're really just you becoming more yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, bringing it back to basics. That's what I've always said. We just need to bring it back to basics. This is how we lived many, many, many hundreds of years ago, that you just lived off the land. And like you said, it will come to you. Absolutely. I fully align with that, because the universe will take you in these weird directions, but yet when you're paying attention, you're going to see what's meant for you to see. And that's kind of, how I live my life. I don't, I used to be working 3 jobs, raising 2 kids, working like a crazy lady and coordinating. I was a coordinator for a lot of different things, and, just, and that's all my focus was on. And now that I've had to pull back and, teach myself, like, I always remember just where my tongue is. That's how I go on my day to day. Where's my tongue right now? Oh, it's up. Okay, I'm gonna relax. So that's how I kind of like, have to remind myself. And it is something, it is something we have to train ourselves, because we've been so indoctrinated and so programmed to be the hustle. And you know what? Just hustle for yourself, nobody else. And it will come. It absolutely will come. I believe in that.
Yeah, Paul Little is talking about hydroponics and greenhouses. We've already built our first greenhouse, but listen to this: how
Nice.
we didn't order a greenhouse online. I've actually, when I was
Right.
a school teacher, we ordered a greenhouse, and I put it together. It was a piece of junk, and whatever. But we found, by being here, one of our friends suggested, there's a place in Phoenix where you can buy glass, and that's what all
Mm,
these windows are. They cost us
right.
$25.
Right.
$25. If you go to Home Depot, it's $300, $400. So we went this. We had to do something in Phoenix, and we have this used glass store. So we went there. We bought another 4 like sliding glass, big panes of glass, and a bunch of windows.
Mm,
And
nice.
James is building. He's already built his first greenhouse, which the out of glass, not,
Wow.
because my beloved Daniela, she's like, we're not having any plastics up here, man. No way. So I have to be, it's the same with the house. She won't let me use any weird fiberglass insulation.
Yeah.
Not that I would want to anyway. But
Mhm.
so everything is fresh and new and
Yeah.
exciting, and
I
you
love that.
you put this puzzle together. And I remember I called the window place in town. I said, how much would it cost to get windows for my house? And they're like, probably like $30,000 or $40,000. I'm like, there's no way. And there were stupid windows that,
Right.
what, 15,000. 50. I remember 20, whatever. Maybe I'm exaggerating a little, but the point is, we now found a place where we can buy glass for $25 a pop. They offered the windows cost us $10 a piece. For $100, we could buy 10 big glass windows for the
That's right.
greenhouse.
And it's
And
so awesome that
it's
people
awesome.
are even notifying you or that they're available, because most construction companies or whatever demolition companies just trash them.
Yeah,
And it sucks.
yeah,
It
yeah.
sucks.
True. And also we have access now, we establish a relationship with a sawmill. So I can take my
Oh,
trailer. It took me all year to buy the damn trailer, but I can take I have a long 20-foot trailer. I can take it to the sawmill for $150. I can get a stack of 16-foot raw, thick boards. I mean, the last time I went there, they said, "Is that all you want?" I'm like, "Well, I have to drive into the mountains. I'm not sure I want to take much more." But
yeah.
like, you could take more. They were happy
Wow.
to take these boards off them, and it's just, there's so many,
Yeah.
like, if you step outside of the matrix and you get outside of the normal way of thinking and you open yourself up to opportunity.
Yeah.
It's, like I said, my friend Chase and them, they have an Airbnb or a bed and breakfast, whatever it is. But here's somebody beg them to take their chicken business, and now we're
Mm.
eating their eggs. We went to this place because we like to have farm fresh eggs, and we went to the store, and then we noticed, wow, this is from our friends at the
How
farm.
cool. How cool is that? That's just divine guidance, I mean, when those things fall into place, everything will just be patient, be trusting.
Well, but the thing is, we've been patient, and now it's exploding. Now
Right.
our place is just like, okay, chickens, we got goats, we got, plants. I mean, every kind of plant that you can. I mean, the fact that, like, James came here, he's an agricultural, like, guru. He's like,
Wow.
he came with baskets full of seeds, all
Not
organized. And he knows, like, I thought I knew something about gardening,
what
but
a gift.
oh my gosh, it's unbelievable, what an opportunity. And he just wants to be out of the matrix. He doesn't want to have a job or worry about rent or any of that stuff. So this is just, once you step out of the matrix, it may take a while. It took us a couple of years to really get our bearing, but now I feel like there are just three of us here, but
Yeah.
it is.
And look how much you've learned. I mean, all that, all that time, all that energy, all that, just nuance, the whole new life that you're creating out there. I think it's so beautiful. And I'm so happy for you and so excited for you guys, I really do see that coming in for you guys. Absolutely. And the goats, because she likes goat milk,
Yeah,
right?
she likes milk, she likes
How
cream, she likes, yeah,
butter, all of that
yeah,
stuff. I mean,
butter. We're crazy about butter and meat. I mean, it's just, yeah. I'm just going to respond to Greg. Greg Heeman, is a Heeman, the man. Greg the man. Big Bird is coming on. He comes on our show every Tuesday. He's nowhere else. He's exclusive to. I talked to him and I said, "Come on my show." I mean, that's just the kind of person I am. I am very open to. I don't have to. Somebody doesn't have to be a big name. If somebody has the willingness to come on my show, like Shelby, I'm just like, come on my show. I did the same thing with the Republic. But this is, in my opinion, how we should be operating. That that just say yes to every opportunity that comes your way, and if it doesn't work out, you'll go to the next one. But what I found is that the ones who say yes, generally make it. It's end up really getting involved. Some don't, but it's okay. It's all an experience of moving through this kaleidoscopic reality. It's just like every moment, if there's only a now, every moment is a moment of change and a moment of discovery and a moment of joy. I'm not hearing you, Shelby. Now I can't hear you.
Muted myself. Sorry. I'm reading Greg's text. So I was gonna send him a link for the video of last week, or the live that you did with Big Bird.
Oh, that's so sweet. Yeah,
Yeah.
Shelby, Shelby is helping us organize. I mean, Shelby is another prime example. I spoke to Shelby and no, I put out a message on my thought stream. I said, if anybody wants to help us, we need help. I was really referring to the LifeWave business. But Shelby called and she said, I want to come and help you. I'll help you build. I'll give you dogs. I mean, she was just so amazing. And this is the kind of people I want to be with. I want to be with people that say yes. Just
Yeah.
say yes. I mean, if somebody comes and offers you something, just say yes. If it doesn't work out, okay, you'll go to the next one. But my experience is that if you just say yes enough times, now like I'm in a period of exponential growth up here, and
Yeah.
anybody could do this, but we just took a risk. I mean, when I saw this property for sale, I didn't know it was in the middle of the Mojave Desert. I didn't know it was off the highway. I didn't know any of that, but I just said yes. And then my friends from the old days were like, Ellie, did you go visit it? Did you check it out? Did you make sure it's okay? I'm like, hell no. I mean, I just bought it. And the fact that they were available, that buying it was an option, even because
Right.
my credit score sucks, and I was just like, well, I'd really like to buy the property. I don't know if I can. And they said, well, we'll finance it for you.
That's
So
awesome.
if you have the willingness, it will
Yeah.
manifest.
Absolutely. I think um yeah, I think that's so important when you put when you're going into the unknown, but things are going to be fine. And inner knowing things are going to be fine. When you know that it's going to be fine, no matter how it comes. It could be tough, it could be rough, it could be, but you just know that you're going to get through it. And
Right.
that's what I think people have to really put trust in themselves. Just believe in yourself,
Yeah.
whatever it is, just fully believe in it. Can't post messages to some channels. Oh, I don't know. Do you see a link I sent there to Greg?
Do see a link. Yeah.
Okay.
Rumble. Yeah.
Okay.
I call it grit. I mean, yeah, I read
Yes.
a book once called about businesses. I think it was called uh, Good to Great, like what made a great company. And at the end of the day, they went through all this stuff about analysis and all this other stuff. What really makes a great company is grit. It's just like if you
Yeah.
have a difficult experience, you say, okay, I can learn something from this and I can do it better. I mean,
Right.
I
Yeah.
mean,
You're right. I hear I mean, I watch your shows. I watch every single one of your shows, but yes, the grit, that is what people are lacking and are
tenacity,
not.
man. Just
Yeah.
stick with it. Just once
Yeah.
you decide what you really want to do, and I didn't even know what I wanted to do. I just
Right.
knew that I had to get out of New York, and Daniela wanted to go to Arizona because it was drier. I didn't expect to end up in the middle of the Mojave Desert in the mountains,
Right.
but it just happened, and I said yes. Okay, let's do it.
Yeah. That's
You
so awesome. I love it. I love it. Especially when it's not planned. I could tell you a story of how I got into this catering job, because I spent my whole life in healthcare, in the private sector, and since I was 17 years old, and I was down and out. This was like it's going on 3 years now, and I remember the night that I was given this opportunity because I was in my car crying, begging God to please bring me anything else because I was supposed to go to an interview with my old urology group that I used to work with, doing research again, going back into the matrix. And I just remember it was like 10 o'clock at night. It was raining. I had my two dogs in the back seat with me, and I'm sitting in the parking lot of my son's apartment. And I'm crying because I don't want to go to this interview and I can't I can't slack off because it's my former boss and he's still my friend and blah, blah, blah. So I just asked God, just give me anything. I'll take anything. Just bring me something else. And what do I hear? Knock, knock, knock on my window. And there's this lady standing there that I see all the time out in the parking lot smoking cigarettes, and we never talk. We just wave. And she's like, and we just started talking. She's like, she complimented me on my dog. She's like, "Oh, yeah, I've always see you out here. You got such beautiful dogs." And that conversation led into, "Oh, you're looking for work?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Come to the shop." She gave me the address. Tuesday morning at 10 o'clock. Tell him Honey sent you. And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" So I'm like on the phone with my old boss saying, "Hey, I don't think I'm going to be able to make it," but he still wanted me to go through with the interview to show face. So I did, but I just thought, what an amazing, that was so amazing to me. Like everything that I have been going through these last few years have just been, I leave it open. I'm not going to force anything anymore. I was very desperate that night because I needed work. And for me to get this catering job, I mean, and I love entertaining. Like that's my thing. So everything is destined to happen, I think. But it
Yeah,
was amazing.
that's a beautiful story. I mean, just somebody knocks on your window. I remember
Nine,
myself.
yeah, 10 o'clock at night in the rain. Knock, knock, knock.
Right, right. Unbelievable. It's an unbelievable story. And you were praying for it. I remember myself, I was having trouble in my first couple of years with the Department of Education. They put me in the rubber room and I didn't then they basically said if you don't you have to find your own job. So I was an outlaw already and there was no way anybody was going to hire me. So
Yeah.
I was at a either a wedding or a bar mitzvah in the Hasidic community in New York. And I saw this guy sitting by himself, and he didn't have a beard, so he was obviously not, one of us. So I said, the guy looks lonely. He looks like a nice guy. So I sat down next to him. So I start telling him, he says, "Well, what do you do?" I said, "Well, I'm a math teacher." And he says, "I can't believe." He says, I'm starting a new high school, and we need a math teacher. I mean, it's just like
Wow.
can't make this stuff up. This is
Right.
this is how the divine works. You think you have to do your research and everything is logical. And if I don't do this, I won't get that. And it's like none of
That's
that, man.
that's so true.
There's a higher stream to things, and once you surrender to the higher way of doing things, the matrix I think, just it dissolves maybe.
I think so. I think so. I think the push for it kind of just keeps falling to the side. And before you know it, you're just standing in your own power like, "Oh, I could do this." That is amazing. I love stories like this. And people, if they could just, try to put their faith into that or whatever it is. Like I said, I was praying in my car, "God, give me anything. I don't want to go back to the healthcare industry. I just can't. And he did. And then I got confirmation the next morning when I woke up. I put on my phone and on my TikTok, there was somebody, I don't know, somebody came across my feed and mentioned, and I wish I would have recorded it because it said, um, they were basically telling me like Honey is an angel in your life right now. And this lady's name was Honey that told me to go. And I was just like, what? Wow. So I'm a total believer.
There are angels. I mean, James, I know James from the channel. He's been listening to me for a couple of years. He said, I want to come over. He says, I'm good with plants. I had no idea how good he was with plants. I mean, I
Right.
thought I knew something about gardening. I know nothing. James is like, and this is just, it's a perfect match. And it's just, we're working it out. I mean, I just finished, well, we finished part of the second floor. So we went to, what was that, Walmart, and we bought a tent for $27. James was having problems. He was sleeping outside the RV in the courtyard, and he was
Mm,
having problems with bugs at night. These things called
mm.
kissing bugs that were attacking.
Oh,
So yeah,
yeah.
so we went to Walmart. We bought a tent for like $25, and he put it upstairs on the platform up, and
Good.
then we bought him a foam pad, and we're just developing but in the same time, I have this incredible he has incredible knowledge. He's telling me we have to have this certain kind of chicken, and it's just like you, if you're open, God just brings you what you need.
Yeah. He's another piece to the puzzle. And what a great piece, those are gifts. I call those gifts, when someone like that is coming in and, oh, who would have, this is way more than I asked for, I mean, I was hired and you got James with a professional, really, a grower, a professional grower. It's like, I think that's awesome. This is what it's about. This is exactly what it's about.
Yeah, I was joking with James yesterday. I put in a piping for so that we could so we could flush our toilet with the regular way. I mean, we've
Mm,
been using buckets, and
yeah.
I um, I put in this PVC piping system, and I I dug a trench for it, and I said to James, I said, if I did a resume right now of like what I really do best, it would be digging
Mhm.
ditches, man. I mean, I got a Columbia degree, but what I really do is I dig ditches. I mean, people come up here and like, did you have a machine put in that pipe? I'm like, no, I did it with my little pickaxe, whatever it is, and but yeah, and it's such joy. I love digging ditches. What can you imagine? I can't imagine going through life without having dugging these,
Experience. Yeah.
because it's you look at this thing and you're like, oh my God, I have to dig a ditch that's like 100 yards long, through this rocky, like real rock, and some of it's bedrock, and it's just like, and I'm a guy who I'm a old time quitter. I mean, I'm a first kind of guy that's like, forget about it, man. I can't do that. But for some reason, I've developed this like grit, and just by being here and having to do it. But so you know, you dig a little one day and you dig a little the next day, and before you know it, you've laid 100 feet of pipe or 100 yards of pipe. It's unbelievable.
That's Aaron. That's Aaron. He's always digging, moving big boulders, and I mean, he's just so into the earth, and I love him for that. He really does such a great job. But yeah, it's that digging. He'll be digging all night. I don't even know what he's digging, but he's digging trenches for the water flow, and it's
It's really, James says, it's like we're two kids in a sandbox.
yeah,
We're having fun like kids,
that's right.
and that's the kind of opportunity you can have once you get out of the matrix. You can develop your own world any way you want it. And
Yeah,
I think the people are not here anymore. I don't think there's so many people left. So there's tons of land. It's really cheap. Nobody wants it. They're getting auctioned off because they don't pay their taxes. And you
yeah,
know come on up, or do whatever, do like you like to be. Your higher power is telling you, stay in the city, we need you here. And I know I went through that for 25 years, that my guide said, you need to become Hasidic, and you need to, these people need you right now. And I
mm,
stayed for 25 years, and then one day it
wow,
was like, I remember telling a friend of mine from synagogue, a guy that I, it was like an acquaintance. I said, it was really nice knowing you, but now I have to go somewhere else. And he looked at me, says, "Oh, come on, so you're kidding me, right?" I'm like, "No, I'm not. I mean, this, if you're in tune with with the director, let's call it the director,
Yeah.
um, you know when your time to go is. You will be told, okay, now it's time for you to get like your job. Now you can't go. They won't let you go to your old job because it's such misery. Like me with the Department of Education, I hated my job. I
Right.
couldn't wait to get out, but I couldn't quit because I wanted the pension and everything else. And then one day they said, if you don't get vaxxed, you're out. And I'm like, okay, see you later, man.
That's right.
It was a great feeling of freedom that I was
Yeah.
finally being liberated from these creeps.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing. We're in amazing times. We're lucky to be in this timeline. I really, I believe that wholeheartedly now. We are built for this, Ellie.
Yeah,
And it's
I think we come from the future.
something. And
Or
I've
some
never done any past life regressions or anything,
Yeah,
but
I've not
it'd
been
be
successful with
interesting,
that. Yeah, I was into hypnosis for a long time, and they
Mm,
tried it on me a few times. I'm like, I just nothing.
yeah.
But I just it resonates with the idea that we come to show humanity how to live, how to be a human.
How to remember. How to remember just to do the basic stuff. It's really all it is. And finding joy in it, you know, without all the stress, oh my mortgage or oh my gosh, I got to do this and yeah, that game was cool, but it's over now, I think. And people just have to be creative. That's all.
I think so. Anyway, I never know where these things are going to go, but I think we should kind of like call it a night because there's a lot going on with the
Yeah.
fight and the comms and all this. But it was such a delight to spend a little time with you. And this is this is my way of this is my socialization. This is my time to get
Yeah.
to spend time with people that I really want to spend time with. And Shelby's a person that I just fell in love with her just saying like,
Oh.
you need help. I'll help you. She didn't say, well, that's $25 an hour. And this,
Yeah.
I mean, someday, listen, so I think the money will just flow the way it's supposed to, but,
Mhm.
you know, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, speaking of the work, we have to announce that Leaving the Matrix is now available for purchase on Apple Music, iTunes, Spotify, all the platforms, even Pandora. I didn't realize that. But yeah,
Wow, cool. That is so
yeah.
cool. I just want to remind people if you're you need health, you need a better level of health. Shelby's also involved with LifeWave, and we really believe in this product. It's a frequency based product. The water machine is unbelievable. I was going to play a tape, but I don't really feel it's appropriate now. But the X2O. If you want a really good water machine, this machine you drink it on an empty stomach when you wake up in the morning, and the water is energizing. I mean,
Wow. I believe
this
it.
works very well. Like I've told people many times, I don't need naps anymore. I used to think I was like, oh my god, it's 2 o'clock. I have to lay down for 10 minutes.
Two
You know,
o'clock.
it's like because I would I still get up early, but with the Lifeway patches, after did this for a couple of years, I realized I'm not taking naps. And now with the X2O machine, which is no more expensive than any other of these like kind of new age water machines, but this thing takes out all microplastics, it
Mm,
hydrogenates it, and it infuses light into the water molecule. So it's
wow.
an incredible product. So I highly recommend. But we live with it. I mean, Daniela, it's the first thing she does in the morning is turn on the power to the machine. It's her. Somebody was nice enough to help her pay for it, but
That's awesome.
she she uh she lives with the and she lives with the patches. She's just like
Yeah.
she said, "Did you put it on your patch yet?" I'm like, "No, I forgot." But if you want to have a really great day, so David Schmidt said, this is for the outside. This goes through your skin, but the water machine produces water
Mm,
that goes into your mouth, goes right into your body, and hydrates your body on a cellular level. So
yeah, I
it's
bet. I
tremendous.
bet.
It's
I,
great.
I,
You'll
I
get
want.
one. You'll
I
get one.
will. I
You'll
will
get one.
eventually. Yes, but yeah, I think that's awesome.
So
I
yeah, so
love the
that's it.
patches.
So should we play a song? Is there any song that you prefer?
Well, I mean, that's not one of your songs, but and that you don't have to play it. But one song that keeps resonating with me for everybody is to listen to Change. I think it's called Cool Change by the Little River Band. It just hits my heart every time I hear it. I mean, it's an old song from like the 70s, but what it means and just the vibe that I get from it. So everybody, if you want to feel good and have a nice smile and a warm heart, listen to Cool Change by the Little River Band. But no, you play I would you have New Morning?
Yeah, sure. Well,
Let's play New Morning.
let's do New Morning.
Sunday at dawn, the night was hotter than hell and forever long. I can see the first light breaking through the trees. I feel the changes in the cool breeze of freedom. It's a new morning. We never saw it coming, hiding in plain sight. Banksters taking power, stealing our lives. They were looking to bury us in debt, shame and fear. But our roots grew stronger as we reached into the air with freedom. Freedom. And it's a new morning. It's a new with each day we're rising up in this world with the power of love, with the power of peace, the power of joy, the power of truth. It's a new morning. It's a new morning. It's a new morning.
I
Yeah.
love it.
So anyway, thanks so much for coming, and thanks. Struggle Jennings says, "God, we need you now." About another great song talks about
Oh
bad
yeah,
things done to children. Yeah, that's
beautiful.
really what it's all about.
Yep, yep. I love it.
So God willing, we'll see you next Sunday. We'll be back tomorrow. Is I think it's just a regular day from our broadcast. What's on Monday? Monday is a news day, I think.
Monday. Oh, I have your schedule right here, sir. Hold on. We've got Monday. Yep, just the Ellie Weber show. It's all you, baby.
Just regular, okay, just regular stuff. I think there's going to be a lot of news. Apparently, a lot of things are going to be opening up. Maybe the markets are going to be doing interesting things tomorrow. So let's just stay riveted to our seat and use the force. Use the force. Just let it be, man. Override. Just get into a new dimensional system, a new frequency where you get out of the fear space and you just allow things to unfold. It's a great way to live. I highly recommend it. Shelby also lives this way, and I think a lot of people on the channel do. So
Yeah.
also, use the source. You know that you are source. You have tremendous abilities. One of the things I just quickly want to mention in passing is that, like, if you, like, I know during the day suddenly I'll start thinking about a certain person. That is telepathy, man. Just, it's like seeing auras. You won't see auras until you give yourself permission to see auras. You say, okay, well, Ellie said you could see auras. So, if you're into that thing, I'm not into that so much anymore, but I'm just saying, like, telepathy, or seeing auras, all these things are available to us, and we will be developing them more and more as we do decalcify our pineal glands with great things like the X2O water machine and the like. Actually, that's the one thing it doesn't take out, but you should not be drinking water with fluoride, and you should not be drinking out of plastic bottles. That's just kind of like basic
Yeah.
understanding. So anything else you want to resonate with?
No, I think I'm good. I just responded. It's coming under Ellie. Sorry. But
Cool.
yeah, great songs. Good times
Okay.
are coming.
Good times are coming. Yeah, all these songs. Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't have to be my songs. But anyway, so let's get out there with a big smile on our face and rock the world.